Hey Sagittarius, it's your favorite homegirl, Kayana Rich, and welcome to your 2024 forecast reading. Okay, now I know you guys are probably like, girl, where the hell you been at? But in reality, I'm technically not behind because the new year starts, or the spiritual new year starts, Aries season. So March 21st is when your new year starts. So this is perfect timing because right now, Sagittarius, we are in preparation season. And so what that means is you now have the opportunity to prepare for the new year. So let's get started. I have my notes, I have everything down, I have everything ready. Okay. So, Sagittarius 2024 is going to really focus on being present and making changes in your life. Okay. I need you guys to learn to strive in spaces where you are feeling vulnerable. And I really want you to focus on your financial goals and allow those things to happen. Okay. Those are going to be really your main three focal points. And what I mean by being present for self and making those changes is Sagittarius, you guys sometimes have a habit of being everything to everyone. And then when you do shift into being everything for yourself, you carry sometimes a little bit of guilt, a little bit of feeling, off because you're now feeling bad for putting yourself first or putting your feelings first. Okay. So I want this year for you guys to really focus on not only being there for yourself and being present, but I really want you guys to focus on not having the guilt associated when you choose yourself and when you know that the best thing for you to do is to put yourself first. Okay. So I really want that to be one of the main focuses for you this year. Really just focus on being present. And what I mean by being present for self is that there are a lot of things that are going to happen in this 2024 season for you. Okay. We are in the year 8. This is going to be a money year. We are in a leap year, so things are a little crazy. As you can see, January ain't even done. And so I want you guys to just allow yourself to focus and be present in the moment. If that means that you need to detach from social media, if that means that you need to detach from certain people who are distracting you, if that means that you need to detach from certain habits or places or things that are not breeding the results that you want, you have to get comfortable with detaching yourself. And then you have to also get comfortable with being in the moment and focusing on what being in that moment looks and feels like for you. It can mean a lot of things for a lot of different people, but one of the main things is just, again, really making sure that you're listening to yourself and you're doing what looks and feels right for you. Okay. So get into that selfish season because you're not really going to have a choice. Okay. Now, when I say learn to strive in vulnerability, for a lot of you guys, 2024 is going to open up a lot of new relationships. And if you guys have heard me talk about it before, when it comes to healing, there is that healing alone, and then there is that integration period where you have to learn to integrate the changes into new relationships or into your old relationships. And so a lot of you guys are going to be going through that integration period. You're going to be going through that period where you're meeting new people. They're igniting new parts of you that you didn't know needed to heal, or they're igniting new parts in you that you didn't know you were passionate about or you were interested in or you wanted to explore. This is going to kind of be the season for that. This is going to be the year for that. And so I want you to learn to open yourself up to those new opportunities and to those new people and allow yourself to truly strive in being vulnerable. A lot of times, Sagittarius, you feel like you lose your control, you feel like you lose your poise, you feel like you lose your cool when you have to be vulnerable. And so you are very good at letting other people know where they need to strive in vulnerability, but you don't always feel the most comfortable striving in it for yourself. That means letting go of the overthinking. That means, yes, having a plan, but not putting a time frame on it and kind of letting things fall into place. Don't rush into something because of uncertainty or rush into something because of that security that you're really looking for. Make sure that you're being intentional with your moves and that you're really listening to yourself. Because once you do the first part, which is focusing on being present for yourself and making those changes, it's going to be really easy for you to use discernment when it comes to where you can strive in your vulnerability. So really allow yourself that opportunity and really give yourself that opportunity to really navigate what that looks and feels like. Next for you guys is to focus on your financial goals and to allow that to happen. Now, while I do feel like a lot of things when it comes to love, a lot of things are going to really grow and prosper for you in the romantic relationship area and also in your friendship area. You're going to be in spaces now that are allowing you to strive and that are curating spaces for you to be vulnerable and for you to be transparent about what your goals are. However, Sagittarius, sometimes you can get a little bit fixated on one or two things and then that kind of throws you off. Okay. So, again, you have to be very intentional with who's going to be in your circle. What does your circle look like? What does your tribe look like? What is your tribe bringing towards the table? What is your tribe feeding you? What are they nurturing you in? And so it's really important that you surround yourself this year with people who are aware of what your goals are. You feel comfortable enough expressing what your goals are, but then also aware of how they can better suit your goals. Also aware of how they can nurture your goals, better aware of what you need for them, or what you need from them in order for you to kind of feel again like you are being supported or like you are again being nurtured, or that you are feeling safe. So really focus on it. The bag is the key, okay? And the relationships that you have around you will help you get to the bag, Sagittarius. But you have to get out of the procrastination space. You have to get out of having lack of boundaries. You have to get out of feeding into your lack of mindset, whether that be lack of intimacy, lack of love, lack of inadequacy. Like all of these things you have to let go of. You have to be willing to realize these are the people who see me for who I am. They understand where I'm trying to go, and they're going to support me in that movement. And when meeting new people, you have to ask yourself, does this person align with the person that I'm actively working towards becoming? Because if they don't actively align, or there's nothing, and I'm not saying to make things be transactional, but if they don't align and they are not again feeding in or giving something, or you're gaining something from these relationships, now's not the time to feed into that. Now's not the time for fun and games. Now's the time for you to get really serious, really motivated, and really just kind of putting yourself in that next space. Okay. Now, when I talk about love for you, Sagittarius, I do want to remind you that the definition of love for you is allowed to change. Okay. I feel like for many of you, you are going to be in this space where you're starting to realize that maybe what you thought love was, or what you imagined love to feel like, it actually looks and feels like something completely different. So I want you to allow yourself to be a little bit more open to receiving whatever it is that you need. Whatever it is that the universe is willing to give you, I want you to allow yourself to accept and receive that. I want you to give yourself the opportunity as well, Sagittarius, to really focus on defining what love is for you. Are you a conditional lover? Are you an unconditional lover? Are you an unconditional love with slight boundaries lover? Figure out what that is, because a lot of times what happens is that when you love and you love deeply and you love wholeheartedly. And while that is a beautiful way to love, sometimes, Sagittarius, you go in very blindly and you see the red flags, you ignore the red flags because your passion and your love and your excitement has already taken over. And so those are the only things that really matter to you. So I just want to make sure that when you get into this new relationship, because many of you will enter that new season of dating or getting to know someone or getting into that season, I really want you to again be really clear on defining what love means for you, what love looks like for you, what you require in love, and being okay with letting that be known and being okay with communicating what that love looks and feels like for you, regardless to what anyone else may think or say. So I do think that that's going to be really big for you as well. When it looks like career, again, really focusing on navigating change and allowing yourself to navigate the change. Okay. I feel like for many of you, Sagittarius, you're in this funk where you're kind of feeling like you're at a standstill. You're not at a standstill. The universe and the divine is asking for you to really look within yourself and ask yourself, what is something that I'm actually passionate about? What is something that I actually know I can do amazing at? What is something that I can actually, I might have to make a sacrifice, and that sacrifice might look like, maybe I have to be in this specific job to fund the dream, but you can't be in a space where you're complacent, and you can't be in a space where you're allowing other people to dictate how and what your career or your career and financial status, what that looks like. So again, I really want to just emphasize that, because I feel like for a lot of you, you're getting into this space where your love life is changing, your romantic partnerships are changing. And so, with those things changing, you really want to make sure that you're giving yourself the opportunity to navigate what that change looks and feels like. And then when it comes to recognizing your power, okay, Sagittarius, you hold a strength that is uncanny. Okay, you guys, you have a strength within you that can endure a lot, can grow through a lot, and can navigate through a lot. And so I feel like, again, this is a season for you where you're really starting to learn and recognize and be able to define your power. You're putting yourself in position to be able to define your power, and then you're allowing yourself to show what that power looks and feels like. So I think that it's really important, um, for you to recognize that power. And I think the reason why I'm emphasizing on recognizing your power is because many of you may have already or is about to experience a move. So you may be feeling like you want to move across country. You may be feeling like you want to go to a complete new city, new state, new country, new province, like wherever you're feeling like this is the time. This is what I want to do. This is what I need to do in order for me to grow. And so I want you to recognize your power in the sense of no matter where you go, Sagittarius, you will be successful. No matter where you go, you will reach the heights that you need to reach. And so I really want you to be able to give yourself the opportunity and to give yourself the grace to be able to recognize what it is that you're looking for, and to be able to recognize what it is that you need. And so I want you to just be comfortable with giving yourself the opportunity to, you know, move and change and reinvent yourself and be in a space of reinvention and feel okay with that, and nurture the relationships that are going to allow you to be reinvented. Okay, because again, some people feel like they know you, but they know the version of you that you no longer connect to. And so that integration is going to be where it becomes really important for you to be very clear on who you want to become and how you want to become that person. And so I'm super excited to be able to see how you navigate those spaces, and how you allow yourself to navigate those spaces, how you allow yourself to grow in those spaces, and what growing in those spaces look and feel like for you. Okay, Sagittarius, organize your life. Okay, you need to have a schedule, you need to have a routine, you need to have organization. You cannot go off of a whim, you cannot go off of just doing what feels right in the moment. You need structure, Sagittarius, and you are allowed to lean on your support system to show you tips and tricks on how to have that. You're allowed to lean on them, to figure out how and what you need to do in order to receive that. Okay, there's nothing wrong with you leaning on your team, there's nothing wrong with you leaning on your support. And I want you to be comfortable with leaning on your support, and I want you to be comfortable with leaning on your team. I want you to not feel like you can't do that. I don't want you to feel like that. I want you to feel like, okay, I'm trying to organize my life and my thoughts. Maybe that means that I need to journal every morning and every night. Maybe that means that I need to have a planner. Maybe that means that I need to create some type of schedule. Whatever it is, you need to give yourself that grace while you figure it out. But I need you to start being intentional with figuring it out. I need you to start being intentional with doing the work to organize yourself, to organize your thoughts, to organize what's going on. I need you to give yourself that. You can't do the same things and have different results, Sagittarius. So make up your mind and get things done. And I have to give you that tough love because I feel like you sometimes like to become lazy, and your laziness makes you stuck. And then your stuck makes you depressed. And then your depressed makes you in a rut. And then it's like this ongoing cycle. You need to intentionally clean your space, clean your aura, Do the Reiki, do the cleanses, do the diets, like do whatever you need to do that's going to allow you to feel like you are recharging your space and you are recharging yourself. And then when you get to that space, then I want you to manage your growth. Okay? Because sometimes, social media is always pumping growth, but growth looks different for everybody. Okay? Sometimes the divine, sometimes God puts you in positions where yes, it feels like everything is falling apart. And yes, it feels like you don't have a reign on what's going on. You don't have control over what's going on and you're just trying to navigate to the best of your ability. Yes, you're very right. Sometimes that does happen. Sometimes that is where the beauty comes in. And sometimes the divine will say, "All right, you don't have a job, that's because you need to grow in terms of how and what your career looks like for you. Okay, your money's low right now. Maybe you need to grow on learning to have financial discipline. Maybe you need to learn how to grow to have financial courage. Okay, your friendships, you don't have a lot of friendships. Maybe you need to grow in how to be a friend. Maybe you need to grow on in how to navigate your friendships. Okay, your relationships feel stagnant. Okay, you've been single for a long time. Maybe you need to grow on defining what love looks and feels like for you. So it doesn't have to necessarily be that your growth is happening exponentially all at once. Sometimes it means having the self-awareness to be able to recognize where in your life is God trying to grow you. Where in your life is God trying to tell you, hey, I need you to come and water this. I need you to come and pay attention to this. I need you to come and be focused on this. And so that's kind of where I feel like you are right now, Sagittarius, is in a space where you have to allow yourself to grow. You need to give yourself that growth because when you get through that growth, get your ass over here now. 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 Get over here. So you have to get into that because when you get to that space where you are managing your growth, you're going to see that you're entering new circles, okay, and new phases in your life and new opportunities. And there's new things that are aligning for you. There's new things that are coming to you, but you have to get over this stump. You have to get over this space that you're in. And for many of you, you're already entering those new spaces, but now it's figuring out how to navigate those spaces. Now it's about you figuring out how can I confidently be in these spaces and navigate them confidently and be in them confidently and be okay with them confidently. Okay. So you got to just be in a space right now. Again, like I said, welcoming the growth and then also prioritizing yourself first. It's going to look different for everybody. Okay. Prioritizing yourself first is going to look different for everybody because of those growth pockets, because of those different levels of growth that you're in. And again, when you are rediscovering yourself, isolation is not always the key. Okay. You require clarity, Sagittarius. You require clarity. You know that you strive the best off of clarity. So if there's anywhere in your life that you do not have clarity, that should be the first priority. The first priority should be getting clarity to understand and make sure that where you're investing yourself leads to the results you're looking for. And that especially comes into your self-love. Because a lot of times, again, when you become uncomfortable with the growth, you isolate. And while isolating to get things figured out is great, you have to give yourself grace to isolate and then also come back to. Come back to your community, come back to your people, come back to your passions, come back to your drive, your groove. You got to come back to. And sometimes you get so comfortable in isolation that you don't come back. And I need you to be willing to come back. I need you to be in a space of acknowledging that you need to come back. Okay? Um, it's going to be a season for you as well, of family growth and separation. I feel like for a lot of Sagittarius, you're either going to grow within your family. So whether that be that many of you are stepping into parenthood, many of you are stepping into maybe, having your first child or having your first pet child or growing your family in a sense of, meeting new family members, getting closer to your cousins. building your own family, whether that means finding your partners, or finding your tribe, finding your friends. You're going to be really big on family growth. However, when you're going through all these stages of changes and growth, some of your family members are not going to understand the pivotal moments that you're trying to have, or the pivotal moments that you're experiencing. Some of them are not going to understand, okay, why are they not trying to be toxic? Why are they not trying to argue with me? Oh, you think you're better than us? Oh, you think you're better than me? That's the kind of attitude that you might have. Oh, you met so and so and now you feel like you can't be with us. Oh, you're doing this and this, now you feel like you can't come with us. That's going to be the attitude sometimes. Not all family members understand when you're trying to break generational curses and circumstances. They're not always going to understand. And so the best way for you to be able to put yourself in position is going to be just allowing yourself to be really clear. Just allowing yourself to be really clear. Look, this is where I am right now in my life. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. This is what I'm trying to do, and I need you to be in alignment with that. Okay. So altogether, Sagittarius, I feel like 2024 is definitely going to be that year about you, but it's also going to be the year of growth and so many new opportunities and experiences for you. I just really want you guys to be willing to be open to the experiences. I want you guys to be willing and accepting of the experiences. And most importantly, I really want you guys to redefine what putting yourself first looks like. You are so selfless sometimes. And while that is such an amazing quality to have, having empathy and being open and willing to help people, you have to know when it's time to be willing to be open and help yourself. Once again, I'm your favorite homegirl, Kiana Rich. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey, and I hope to hear from you soon. Peace and blessings, loves. Bye.